So I was scouring my new favorite lecture the other day, the Model A judging standards, and I came across this, where the seat benches had this conspicuous little knob here. And I turned a little further, and then I read somewhere along here that this is a seat adjustment handle. And so I thought, huh? Cars of the 1930s had that? Because it certainly isn't a thing in European cars of the time. And it even states that the standard coupe would have one of these. And so I reached out into our Model A enthusiasts WhatsApp group of Germany, and sure enough, a couple of people sent me pictures of this mechanism and how it looks like on them. So I thought, must be missing on mine. And I was in rather intense correspondence with one of my dear viewers, John, who sent me detailed pictures and even made me some sketches from the pieces he had in his coupe. And I took a look at mine, and sure enough I found the 4 holes to mount the bracket to, and I found one through hole which the spindle would go through, which the handwheel attaches to. And so I thought to myself, well, I can't obviously leave it like that now that I know that it was once there. And I dug a little further with my endoscope and even found remnants of the spindle nut in there. It unfortunately had split in half. It's some die-cast piece, which obviously fatigued over time. So I punched that out and then set off onto the crayon-aided design to make some new parts for it. And this is how that went. We'll start this project off with a simple piece, which is going to be the angle iron to mount to the seat. I've got something here which is almost the right size. We're going to have to skim a little of this thickness so it won't scratch on the bottom of the seat. And we're going to have to lower this part of the L here a little bit, mostly for optical purposes. Drill 4 holes into it and it's done. Well, that's the mounting bracket. It's going to get fixed in place with countersink screws from the bottom and nuts on top. Now for the spindle. I didn't want to keep cranking all the time, so I've bought this, which is a multi-start trapezoidal screw. Acme thread, I think is what you call it. And it's from 3D printing. Comes with a nut, and I've already prepared this blank here. Just lengthen it and drilled a cross hole through it. And now I'm going to take this nut here and machine the register away from it. And then it's just going to get pressed and soldered into this piece here and then secured in place with 2 dowels from the top and the bottom.
Wasn't love you had for me just a bit of affection or a little sympathy, just a new romance that you thought nothing of? Call it anything, it wasn't love, it wasn't love. you had for me. This is just a reaction of a dream that ceased to be. And your kisses too, not one of them was true. Call it anything, it wasn't love. All the promises you made are too late, I'm afraid, and you can keep them with somebody new.
Things are really starting to come together now. I've saved the largest part for last, which is the hand wheel. For reasons of stock availability, I'm going to have to make that one out of 2 parts and, well, then probably brute force them together so they won't separate. But, you know, nobody is going to be able to tell.
All the little lies within your loveless eyes make it easier to say to you, it wasn't love you had for me, just a bit of affection or a little sympathy, just a song and dance that you thought nothing of. Call it anything, it wasn't love.
With this contraption, I'm going to cut circular molds into the entire thing around its perimeter. This has got a hole pattern in here which allows me to make 10 different indentations. And I've determined the cutting depth because I can just feed in and out, not up and down. I've determined that by measuring between these two here, like such, and then calculating the distance between their axes. So now I should have 1.5 millimeter in feed cutting depth, and that's what, you know, I determined this thing I want to have. That went with a lot less trouble than expected. I have to say the surface finish is actually very, very nice on here for, you know, what the setup is. I'm probably going to make this ridge here a little bit higher just for optical purposes, and that makes it last piece of the puzzle. And then we're going to be able to pin this down onto here and install it in the car. In the car I noticed that the holes in the wood of the seat bench didn't actually align with the sliding rails, which was the whole reason why the bench didn't adjust. It was just jammed into place. So I opened up those holes to make everything move smoothly, and then also discovered I needed to modify my bracket design just a little bit more to get it to harmonize with the seat bench nicely. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just witnessed the bench moving for the first time. Probably since the restoration in 1989. So, finally, after all these years, I can say, man, I just feel like I'm sitting way too far up front. If I could only, I can adjust the seat now. And, oh, never mind, it's already all the way back, which is the way it has always been, and the way it will be for anybody that isn't a leg amputee. So yeah, there you go. That's one more completely useless gimmick added to the Model A Ford. Yeah, it's pointless for me, but the point it serves is to show that even in the 1930s, a standard low-line car still already had seat adjustment, which in Europe wasn't a thing until the 1960s maybe. So yeah, that's just a party gig to show, and was a damn lot of work for something that you can barely even see only if you know it's there. Thank you very much for watching anyways. See you guys next time. Bye.